whoa, that's incredibly horny to, aw, look at that. They're good people.
Do you have like a confused
This is
boner while you're
wickety
watching?
crack,
Basically.
yo. Wait, they're the same?
I was watching, and I hear him go, yeah, or something like that, and I'm just like, there's no freaking way, dude. There's no freaking way.
Your mom is beautiful. You take that back.
This freaking guy.
No,
Don't you love your mom, Thane?
I do, but it's not like that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're back with another episode of Life Is Daijoubu. Episode 2. We did it.
We
passed 50% of all podcasts.
Milestone.
And
Because I think most people just do a pilot, and that's basically
Really?
it. Oh, yeah. Totally.
Oh, that's interesting.
and how many episodes before we surpass your previous anime podcast?
Yikes. I think we got into almost 50.
Oh,
I think
wow.
it was 30.
Are
So we
we-
got to keep this going for like a year.
A year.
It'd be longer than that because this is a bi-weekly. We were doing weekly.
True, we were.
If you want to know what that podcast is, we're not going to tell you. You got to go research it yourself.
My name's Cole, by the way. This is...
I'm Sky.
And we have
Thane.
over there. Look at them. There's beautiful. If you're listening on Spotify or... Honestly, I think it's only Spotify because I don't know how to work the other ones.
We've got beautiful
But we appreciate you
voices.
guys listening to the audio version. If you're watching on YouTube and you want the audio version, we will put that in the link in the description. I believe I did it last week, so you should have that there too. And be able to follow us on Spotify as well and rate us there too.
Yeah, help us become the #1 anime podcast because I don't know if there's that many anime podcasts.
You know,
out
we've
there.
got
There's
some
a
steep
handful anyway.
competition.
It's funny because most of the anime podcasts that I've seen don't really cover anime specifically. They kind of broadly, generally talk about it.
They
Probably
just say we're an
'cause-
anime podcast that doesn't really talk about anime.
That's
Probably
Yeah.
because I think that's like their only podcast and it's anime related, kind of like Trash Taste. It's like the only podcast between those three guys, and they'll just talk about
Yeah,
stuff.
they just talk about
And
anything.
anime is kind of the common link. Meanwhile, we have two podcasts, one about anime and
then
the other about
just BS.
Yeah.
Life. I mean, the other thing I've seen with other anime podcasts are like they do specific shows and they just do every single episode's like another episode of the show they watched.
That's really drawn out.
Yeah. And so they just go over the entire show eventually. And I think they're like 30-minute long episodes or something. Anyway, we've got a show for you today. Today we're going to be going over Gurren Lagann episodes 1 through 15. But before that, we're going to talk about our seasonal animes that we're watching. Last week we talked about it briefly at the beginning before the 3x3s. But today we're going to go into more. It's been a couple more. It's at least 2. It's been at least 2 weeks since the last episode where we were able to bring up some of the shows we started watching. I started a lot more since the last time, at least 3 more, because I think last time I only talked about 3. I watched 3 more shows, and I'm watching 6 total weekly. It's not as hard as I thought it would be, I won't lie. In fact, there's some days I'm like, dang, I just wish one of those episodes would come out so I'd have something to watch. It's been pretty fun. But I guess before we get into that, I wanted to ask you about Rent a Girlfriend again. Because I know we're reading the manga, Skylar and I are, and he's also watching season 2 of it. And the manga is in a place where it's pretty boring. I won't deny.
It's very boring. Although the last chapter, man, I felt like I was in high school.
It was
again.
cute. It was a real cute chapter.
Yeah, the last probably five or 6 or 7 panels, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm totally in high school again. It's
Oh, it was a-
crap that I did.
It was a cute chapter.
it
I
was
won't deny
nice.
that.
It
It
was
was
like,
boring, but it was still cute.
Yeah.
But what's good about Rent a Girlfriend? That's where you are at the end of the day.
Man, I don't know.
Good.
It's just like a weird harem slice of life. Like, I guess what I like about it overall, well, no, I'll just stick to where it's at, is Kazuya, the main guy, he's starting to realize that he's not that bad of a person. Like, he doesn't suck that bad. He just thinks he's a horrible person and nobody likes him. But
Yeah.
over the course of things that happens throughout the show, and right where it's at right now, he's starting to realize, he's like, whoa, like,
I'm a terrible person.
no, he's starting to
He thinks he's better now.
well, it's more like wow, this girl really likes me.
What if there's
I can't
like
believe a cute girl actually likes me. So it's like, I don't know. You can slowly see him starting to build up even just a little smidge of confidence.
Self-confidence?
Yeah.
Wow.
Some self-worth.
Who knew a main character could have that?
You know those anime anime and manga that have like the super perverted protagonist. Usually they don't like learn from their perversion. Well, usually they get beat up. What if there's the one where he has like in the middle of it, he has self-realization. He's like, "Oh my god, I'm a terrible person." Then
There probably is some.
That's
Yeah.
kind of why I liked Mushoku Tensei, because that's kind of what that was. He just realized in his previous life he was a terrible human
Yeah.
being, and so he just wanted to do better.
But like, was he a bad person or
Oh,
just
yeah.
he didn't do anything?
Yeah, you don't learn more. You learn more about some
okay,
of the
so
stuff he did.
he
He's
really
a bad
was-
person.
he's a terrible-
He was a
okay.
bad person.
He wasn't just some fat video game slob.
No. He was a bad person.
Okay.
You find out a little bit later on.
he's
he was
a bad
guy.
man. No, like so, like what I'm talking about is like
Like Sasuke Uchiha.
No, like the like some anime have like super perverted protagonists, and like I'm thinking like, what if just in the middle they like have a breakdown? It's like, wow,
Why am I like this?
Yeah,
I
it's
should
like-
stop.
He kind of has that every episode.
Yeah.
So
Kazuya.
Yeah.
He kind of does, doesn't he?
it'd be really
it's a very horny show. Like, I mean, there's no way around it. Reggie's very horny, the writer. But I don't
Usually-
know. I kind of like it. The story and the characters kind of make it all for me.
But usually for like super horny anime, the protagonist is like, I didn't mean to do that, no, and he's trying to be a good guy, but he always gets caught up in those situations where he accidentally walks in on the girl changing. I hate that cliche. That's so.
I don't think that ever really happened in Rent a Girlfriend.
No, I'm talking about like just
in general. Yeah.
Yeah.
But normally Rent a Girlfriend kind of stays pretty close to the tropes. I don't think it did that one.
Yeah.
Where he accidentally sees things.
Like walks in on somebody like
Oh,
that.
That's
don't-
usually
don't know.
reserved for the, like the most horrible.
Basically, the ones that are
Yeah.
just trying to get the horny people money.
Yeah.
I've been reading this for like 3 years now, so it's gonna be too hard for me to reach into my memory and pull that one out. Sorry.
I don't remember. Anyway, what are you watching again, Thane? I honestly don't
Yeah.
remember.
All right, so this one's
It
like
was a weird name, I think.
it's on like the lower end of like the most watched one. Like I picked it because I knew it was a manga, and I'm gonna read the manga because it's on the Crunchyroll manga app. Terrible app, by the way. It has terrible
1 out of 5.
selection, terrible selection, and all the Kodansha stuff they only have a fraction of because Kodansha's like, oh, read it on this app instead, or buy her. It's like, screw you. But no.
Good dad,
anyways,
just kinda rough.
But anyways,
They
it
can be.
has the full manga on the app, and it's called Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. And
What a name! What a freaking name! Was
and
it a
the-
light novel?
That
No,
sounds like a
no,
light
it's a
novel
manga. It's a manga. But it. I read some of this other mangaka's, I guess what you call it, previous work, and
You do that a
he's
I know.
he's pretty okay. I remember watching one a while back called Planet With. And one thing he likes to do is like he likes to like subvert, like, oh, is the good guy really the bad guy? He's in this situation where he looks like he's the bad guy and stuff. And I guess not really with this one yet, but the title refers to Lucifer being like the main female protagonist being hyperactive, and she wants to like destroy the world with her own fist. And the biscuit hammer is a giant like moshi mallet in the sky that's going to hit the earth and turn in like the surface into moshi.
Oh.
So it's Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Oh, the hammer.
Yeah, and the Lucifer, I can't remember her name. It's going to take me a while to remember these names. She wants to destroy the hammer so she can destroy the world with her own fist and just do the same thing, but
Is it actually interesting?
kinda. The animation is very subpar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very low budget.
I see.
The main character, the male main character, is like I do kind of like him because like he seems this down to earth guy, but like he like treats everything like, wow, what is this bullshit? Like when he sees a lizard, he like, it starts with him like with a talking lizard on his chest. He's like, hello, it's your destiny. You must save the world, and he just grabs it and throws it out the window.
Jeez.
And then he comes, and then like since nobody can see him, he's like spiritually, it's like, why'd you throw me out the window?
That does sound interesting. I'm
Yeah.
curious to see where that one goes, I guess. It just,
Yeah.
like, if you like it in the end, or if it's just mid, or even
Well-
less than mid.
Well, but I'm interested in the manga because the manga has a pretty high rating. It's like got an 8 on Mal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I want to kind of read the manga and see how it compares. I know that it censors some panty shots.
In the anime?
Yeah. It doesn't have any panties in the anime.
It's probably because it's
Yeah.
easier to not draw them
Yeah.
than just for like budget wise.
And you know that cliche about walking in, changing on someone that happens in the second episode. It's like, so
over here roasting it, but you're watching the
Yeah.
show that happens.
yeah, I
too.
know. I saw that. I was like, oh my
So-
gosh.
I know it's a cliche, but like it has happened to me before. Has it
Oh
happened?
yeah,
to you
it's
guys?
happened to me.
Yeah.
At least twice in my life.
It didn't happen to some beautiful girl. It happened with my mom.
Your mom is beautiful. You take that back.
What?
This
No,
freaking
what?
guy.
No,
Don't you love your mom, Thane?
I do, but it's not like that. Wow, you're twisting my words. No. It doesn't happen with some beautiful girl who's a stranger
that you're
who's not related to me.
Yeah, there you go.
Gotcha.
Oh God. Well,
That's fun.
I've got a couple more I wanted to talk about
Okay.
before we moved on to Cole's long
yeah,
list.
go for it. Yeah, I got a list.
So the other one that I'm watching, the other seasonal one, and then I want to talk about my backlog I've been trying to get to, it's called Licorice Recoil is what I've decided to call it. It's
Like licorice?
Lycoris.
Without the
Lycoris. Licorice.
Maybe it's like licorice.
Licorice. It
I
might be
don't know.
licorice.
Who knows?
Anyway, it's about these teenage girls that were orphans, and they were essentially adopted by an organization to become hitmen. So these 16-year-old girls are like these badass hitmen that are killing people and doing jobs for this organization. And like the first episode's crazy intense, but it walks that fine line of almost like Spy Family, where it's like yours killing someone and now they're at home eating dinner together. Like it's definitely got the dark and death, but it also has like the lighthearted cutesy 16-year-old girls, and it's just, I don't know, it's fun. Even like the last episode I was watching, Cole heard from my room where I was like yeah, I was like cheering on because it's, I don't know, it's just fun. It's been a fun one.
That's definitely like a thing nowadays. Like it's almost like a common trend where you got the very dark and then really hard switch to the
Yeah.
happy comedic kind of stuff.
Yeah, I
They go
remember
back and forth
I
a
remember
lot.
seeing this one. It was like based off a visual novel where like this guy goes to a school as a high school student, and he like helps with all these girls who have deep traumatic problems, and he himself is like an assassin, but like they cut between like the goofy happy times and in the visual novel sexy times.
Oh, you mean Fate, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
And one point he walks in and there's that walking in trope, but it's different. He's so stoic, he just walks in and he sees one of the girls like topless. He's like, "Hey, put some clothes on." It's like, "What? You're bothered by some boobies?" He's like, "No, just put some clothes on." It's like, wow, he's
a Chad.
different. But as
He's
you know,
stoic.
He's stoic.
as you know, in the past, he railed girls that were older than him, much
Oh.
older.
So
He's used to it.
he's a cougar slayer.
Yeah,
He goes hunting in the
With-
forests.
his own mentor.
Oh.
He did it with his. She's
See,
like,
That's just initiation. That's
Yeah.
how you become like a black belt.
it's very
Black belt
messed
in
up
what?
because
Black belt in
And
what?
and what does he do, Thane? Is
my
he,
he wasn't even a teenager at that point.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
this is messed up.
Yikes.
I don't even want to give the name of the anime, but
are you like ashamed that you watched it?
I don't know. It had a pretty like was messy plot. I don't know. Maybe
all
the visual
over.
novel gives more context, but there's there's a lot of sex. So and I don't really like visual novels. I don't hot take, I do not consider them games.
I mean, that's a
Yeah.
discussion. I don't necessarily have an opinion on
Yeah.
that though.
I mean, it's like a virtual book.
It's basically just a book with pictures, but
Yeah.
really easy to
It's
consume.
just a high budget choose your own adventure novel.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Except actually, that's ironic because some of these games have no budget behind them. That's why they make visual
That's why they're
novels.
visual
Like Welcome to the NHK. Like he's like, the main character's like, I gotta make a game, and then the the guy he's trying to make a game was like, "Do you have any experience in programming?" He's like, "No." It's like, well, the only chance we got is a visual novel.
I know how to write a book.
So what was your other one, Sky?
So my other backlog that I'm watching, and I've been recommended to watch this forever, and it's been out for quite a while, but it's Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm about halfway through right now. It's fun. Like,
Wait,
people that say that it's mid, I totally understand, but like I'm having such a fun time with it. I think the world building is cool, the powers are cool, the
Wait.
fight scene, beautiful.
that anime's not this season. I could have picked any anime.
No, I
he
said
just said his
backlog.
backlog.
My
Oh, backlog. I don't know. I have so many on my backlog. I need to really start watching. I didn't
Yeah.
know we were supposed to do a backlog.
Oh, you
too.
can do whatever you want to do. I just specifically wanted to like be able to talk about seasonal stuff too.
I think Jujutsu Kaisen gets way better when they get to Kyoto.
Well, it's right now.
That's not in the anime right now, and it's
Yeah.
probably gonna take a while. But
Well,
if you really want
I may start reading it
Yeah.
after. I think I'm gonna watch the movie too.
it's
though.
gotten really good.
Well, it's like I said, in the anime, it's just a fun watch. Like every
Yeah.
episode is like, wow, this is very satisfying. But like I said, the world building's fun. I like the powers. I like the fight scenes are really good. The animation and art style, oh man, it's so good. I just like it. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a normie, but it's a fun one, and I recommend that if people haven't. If you haven't watched that
Definitely
one.
one of the better Shonen Jump.
It's very
titles.
dark. It's a very dark show.
Speaking of Shonen Jump, well, it's not right
Oh,
not in weekly Shonen Jump.
Jump
It's
Plus.
in Jump Plus.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, Chainsaw Man's back. I guess I forgot completely about that until just now, but it'd be cool to I guess we're all three of us are reading
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man, so maybe like at the very end of the episode we'll like have an addendum or something where we can talk about that. So if you don't get spoiled.
And
Yeah.
If
and
you don't want
I
to
can't
get
wait for
spoiled.
Chainsaw Man. It's coming out like in October, right?
The anime?
Like,
The anime, yeah, something
See,
like
that'll
that.
be a fun one to watch.
Yeah,
together,
Yes.
too.
when the anime starts coming out, we're definitely gonna be watching that together and
yeah.
discussing that each week.
I guess
or every
real
week.
quick on while we're talking about upcoming anime that we're looking forward to, what are some that you guys are looking forward to? Like mine, for example, I'm ready for Attack on Titan, the part
finish
4
it?
final part
Yeah.
2, whatever it is.
I
I want to
haven't-
finish it. These guys have already read it. They know the
Yeah.
ending, but
I
like
haven't
I'm
watched
really
part
looking
2
forward to the
yet.
ending.
I should watch
Yeah,
that.
I honestly haven't even watched part 3 of the season and the last season just because I was just I was watching with my buddies week by week, but then things come up and we couldn't meet up or anything,
Yeah.
and then we stopped watching it, and I just never finished watching that season.
Well, especially if you guys already know the
Yeah,
ending.
we already know what happened, so it wasn't super compelling to go back and watch. It was interesting that it just, I don't know, it didn't make me want to go back and watch it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I guess the other one was the Uzumaki, the Junji Ito.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, that
Uzumaki's
one's-
being-
Yeah, that one will be
Adapted.
interesting. I don't know if I should read the manga at this point. Maybe. Well, it could be years before that comes out.
Well, it's supposed. I think it's supposed to come out in 2023.
So 1 year, I guess.
Yeah,
Anyway.
they did give an update. It's supposed to come out this year, I think, and then they said 2023 because the pandemic screwed everything up.
Yay the coof.
I mean, I don't necessarily have any in mind that I'm super excited for. Not off the top of my head, anyway. A lot of the stuff that I'm reading manga-wise, a good portion of that has been announced to be adapted into anime, and those will be fun to watch. I think things like Kaiju number 8, for example. I think that'll be fun to watch.
Was there an anime coming out?
Yeah, I'm almost positive it got announced. I could be wrong, but I think they got announced. But the other one I was thinking about was Oshinoko. That one's the one that's being written by Aka Akasaka, the mangaka of Kaguya-sama Love is War. And it's really good. I mean, the writing's pretty fun. The plot is very interesting, so I'm sure that will be a fun anime.
What genre
too.
is that one?
It's the weird isekai one, isn't it?
It's the weird isekai one. It's
Oh.
almost like slice of life, but
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
not.
remember. Sorry,
it's hard to describe the genre. Yeah, that'll be a fun one. But I guess Thane, are you looking forward to anything?
Just Chainsaw Man. That would look fun, and Akira. Whenever that comes out,
Akira
they
will be
said it's
cool.
supposed to come out this year. I know that the animation's probably not going to be as mind blowing as the movie, but I hope it's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that because doing the animation quality of a movie in a weekly series is impossible.
oh yeah.
unless they worked on this for years and just released it, they'd have to work on a backlog for years, which is not really how anime production works, kind of. I don't know. Like, I watched an anime once about anime production, and it seemed very cutthroat, tight on time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does not sound like a fun time.
Yeah. But I hope
Very
I hope
stressful.
it's really good. I hope it really does it really is faithful to the manga. I know the creator is was like approves of it, like he says like he I think he even said that he even announced that the anime is coming out. It's done by Sunrise, which has done some quality stuff, but I hope it gives it that like 80s cyberpunk feel.
Oh,
That aesthetic would really work today because people really seem to like that stuff today.
that actually reminds me. They're making a cyberpunk anime.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually kind of interested in
Edge
that.
Runner, I think it's
Yeah,
Edge Runner.
cyberpunk Edge Runners.
It looks. Yeah, I saw
the trailer and it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully
by
it's
Trigger.
not buggy.
The video
Guys.
player starts bugging out. It's like, what the hell?
Imagine
Well,
they.
if you're on Crunchyroll, you're gonna get that regardless.
Yeah.
Imagine how they edit it together. They like cut frames.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully it'll be better than Black Lotus, Blade Runner. Now I didn't see it, but it looked like it had this CG look and it looked terrible. I still haven't watched it, but it doesn't, like, from what I've heard, that people said it wasn't that good. I'm kind of disappointed because I like Blade Runner. And I thought when I first heard that announcement, it was around the same time they announced the Cowboy Bebop live action. I was like, oh great.
Oh jeez.
Or is the One Piece live? Either one
of them.
Yeah, but then I saw at the same time Blade Runner Black Lotus was announced. It's like, oh hell yeah! But maybe I'll watch that for a backlog and tell you how I thought. But
Yeah.
it doesn't look very good.
So like I said, I am watching 6 different shows. Last week I brought up that I'm watching Classroom of the Elite, The Devil's a Part-Timer, and Call of the Night. I'm still caught up on those 3 still. Classroom of the Elite's really fun. I still enjoy that one. It's basically just mind games and things like that. I mean, there's not much else to say. If you have to watch season 1 and 2, it's not like you can't just jump into 2. Devil's a part-timer. That one's more. You could jump into that one if you really wanted to without watching season 1. You would definitely miss out on so much and not really understand what's going on, but you get the gist of it. It's basically just slice of life with an interesting concept. It's fun. It's not like the greatest thing ever, but it's still pretty fun. Then Call of the Night, it's still not doing it for me. I won't deny. It's just okay. The visuals, don't get me wrong, the visuals in the anime look stunning. Really, really good. And I really enjoyed them. It's got that kind of like, what's like the car driving into the sunset look, like that vibe or whatever. Like our picture.
Vaporwave.
Vaporwave. It's very vaporwave and aesthetic, and I'm really digging that. But the actual story, I'm just like,
Wait, I didn't expect that from Call of the Night.
If you look at like the covers of the manga, like it kind of fits it really well. Well, I just don't really care much for the characters. The character design themselves, I don't think are all that exciting.
Does it scream out aesthetic in like all caps and space?
Basically, yeah, basically. Anyway, so I picked up. I don't know if I talked about this last. I might have picked up. What's it called? My stepmom's daughter is my ex-girlfriend. Did I talk about that last time?
I don't think so.
So I started watching that one.
I remember when I told that to Jordan on the Discord, like I think last night or 2 nights ago. I said it so horrible. I said it like it was a light novel title. It's like my dad remarried and now my ex-girlfriend is my sister, like something like that. And then I looked up, I was like, wow, that's way wrong. But
my dad got remarried and now his wife, my stepmom, is actually
has a daughter that was my ex-girlfriend.
A daughter that is my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You're probably wondering how I got here.
Yeah.
So this show is it's weird. I won't deny it's very weird. It does a lot of like what you would expect from something like Domestic Girlfriend, just stupid, trashy, horny, just dumb anime show. But then it does really wholesome stuff sometimes too, and you're just like, how is this the same show?
Yeah.
This makes how do I go from like, whoa, that's incredibly horny to Aw, look at that. They're
So
good people.
Do you have like a confused
This is
boner while you're
wickety
watching?
crack,
Basically.
yo.
Yeah, I don't know. It's if you like that kind of trash, then it's definitely up your alley. I'm into it. I mean, I'm still watching it. I'll probably finish that one too. I don't. The other two I picked up was My Uncle from Another World, which is essentially a reverse isekai where this guy's uncle got isekai'd, and then after 17 years, came back. He finished his quest, or I don't know. Actually, they didn't really say anything about that. But he's back from the fantasy world into the real life, and this kid and his uncle and the nephew, they're kind of just hanging out. The kid decided to make money off of the uncle's like powers and stuff like that, and like post like YouTube videos and stuff of him doing like weird fantasy magic and things like that. And it's just slice of lifey, and it's fun. It's quite.
I had a
it's quite
question
funny.
about that one. So it's on Netflix.
Yeah,
Do they release weekly, or are they all out and you can binge it?
it's weekly. Yeah. I've only seen one episode so far. I went to watch one more today because
Yeah,
I thought it'd come out today, but it
They've
wasn't
been
out
doing
yet.
that with a lot more.
So Netflix
Um,
isn't just dumping them all out then.
No, not with anime specifically.
Is
anyway.
that due to like licensing?
I
or
think it's just
is
the
it
way.
simulcast?
I honestly.
I think it's also probably to prevent piracy because a lot of people are pirating them early just to watch them early.
I think a big part of it, honestly, is just like the community, like the anime community, just watches things weekly,
Yeah,
and so I think they just kind of like
Just
go
go
with
with
it.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
basically.
that's what I kind of want them to do with JoJo, but they're not. That production, they have them like produced all at once, and they're gonna drop them all at once. That's how the production
I
is.
see. It's probably because that one's more mainstream nowadays,
Yeah,
and more
but-
people are into it.
I still have to wait
Yeah.
all the way to the end of the year to watch more JoJo.
But anyway, Uncle's fun. It's a good show. I've like I said, I've only seen one episode, but it's got me. The comedy's hilarious. I definitely laughed out loud a couple times, and I'm gonna keep going with that one. And the last one I picked up was Engage Kiss. Now this one is interesting because like the first two episodes, you're just like, okay, they're just essentially killing demons more or less. It's like, who's the big demon we're fighting in this episode? And then episode 3, all of a sudden, there's a plot, and you're just like, oh, shoot.
You got 'em.
There's actually interesting stuff happening.
Yeah, some shows do that. They like kind of tease you with like what's
Yeah.
going on, but then suddenly the plot doesn't kick in until like
It's
a few
pretty
episodes
good. Like,
in.
the first 2 episodes are still entertaining, don't get me wrong. But when you, like, start learning about the plot in episode 3 and, like, realize that there's more to the story, you're like, oh, crap, this could actually be really cool. I will say there's an incredible fight scene. I actually really like this fight scene in the first episode. So the main character, I'll just give you the brief idea of what's going on. The main character has an ex-girlfriend that is fighting the demons alongside him. They're like different factions, kind of helping each other out and stuff. And the main character has a demon waifu that's helping him fight the demons. She's basically the overpowered. Basically think like Yuno Gasai's kind of like overpowered. Like, I guess she never was like overpowered, but that yandere. She's a yandere.
Yeah, very
much so
psycho.
yandere, kind of psycho. Not as much as Yuno.
Okay.
Yuno's crazy,
She's
crazy.
sweet but a psycho.
Yeah.
No, I don't
And
want-
then his ex-girlfriend, she's not super psycho, okay? She's not that
no,
crazy.
No, I just referenced a stupid song. I was
Oh.
like,
And then the ex-girlfriend is the tsundere. And so you got both of that going on, both of the deres going on. And in the fight,
where's the kudere?
I don't know what
What's
that
that?
even is.
That's like Ray Alamia. She's like,
Oh,
oh, hello
Very-
very
there.
passive and just kind of
Yeah, it's like
goes with it.
emotionless.
robot.
Hello there.
Maybe we'll get one of
Hello
those in the
there.
series. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. So
Those are the three like holy trinity of dares. Dare,
that's why it works really well. And
kudere,
Even
tsundere, yandere.
anyway, so the fight scene essentially is these two girls hate each other, right? Because it's the ex-girlfriend and then the current girlfriend. Not really, but kinda. And so they don't like each other, which would make sense. And in the fight, they're fighting all these demons that are attacking them. But the way they're doing it, their shots and like swings are clearly aimed at each other. And it's really freaking cool because, like, they'll swing and the girl will dodge, and then a demon will jump in place and get hit by the sword. And it's just like, it's just so cheesy, but I really liked it, and it was very fun to watch.
That's some Matrix level stuff.
Oh, it really was. It was super good. Like, there's one shot where, like, the demon girl's hair is kind of blowing, and the girl takes a shot with, like, her gun, and it shoots a hole through her hair and, like, cuts the hair around in a circle, but a demon behind it gets shot and dead. It's a really good fight scene. It's super fun. That's a good one.
So has really high level animation.
At least that fight, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not terrible. I think it's. I don't know the studio. It's a higher production studio though. I don't remember exactly what studio though.
Mappa.
It's not
Not
Mappa.
Mappa.
Mappa's busy with other stuff.
Mappa's doing all the
Rent-A-Girlfriend.
edgy
Or did,
mangas.
Yeah.
And that gay skating anime.
Is Mappa
did-
like one of
they
the
did
biggest?
Yuri
Yeah,
on
they did
Ice.
Yuri on
Yeah.
Ice.
Mappa's one of the biggest, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They
nowadays
launched
anyway.
the popularity after Yuri on Ice.
I want to say it was A1, but I don't know if it was
Yeah.
A1 Pictures.
Also-
that did this.
Oh, yeah, also A1. I mean, not A1. Mappa's also doing Hell's Paradise, and I was like, ooh, I want to watch that one.
I'm interested in that one, but I want to read the
Yeah.
manga first.
Manga's definitely a thrill ride.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad that the Ayakashimon got canceled. It was his creators. That was Hell's Paradise. The guy who wrote Hell's Paradise. That was his manga in Shonen Jump.
Like the
Yeah, and I
His
liked where it
follow-up.
was going, but they canceled it. And the one that was I didn't like as much. What's Doro? I can't remember.
Doron.
Yeah, it sounds too
something?
close to like Dororo or Doro
Yeah.
had Doro.
Doron or
Yeah.
something.
I like.
That
Yeah.
series is
I wish
very,
that one
eh.
would. I wish that one would have got axed in favor of Ayakashimon, but
So I got one question before we take our break, and maybe you guys have the answer. But for somebody that is like very popular in the manga world, and they're working on different manga, like for example, Kishimoto had a manga that got canceled. Are they contractually obligated to cancel if like for example, Shonen Jump drops them? Do they have to end the writing, or could they be like, hey?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think
because
they had they had to sign away the rights.
Yeah, Shueisha would have the
Oh,
rights.
okay,
to
so-
publish anyway. They would have they don't have the rights to the series. They
And-
have the rights to publish.
And
So you can't publish it any other way, any other
Dang,
magazine.
so you can't be like, hey, I'm gonna keep writing this over on my website. Go check it out.
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, because that's
Okay.
technically being published somewhere else.
And also a lot of manga artists, when it's not popular there, they don't find it commercially viable and just drop it entirely.
I guess that's true because it is
Yeah.
very time consuming. I guess in my head I was
If they
just
don't,
like, oh,
if it fails there, they're not gonna bother with it.
yeah,
okay, that makes sense. The
Although
reason I brought it
there
up
was one manga I read, and the artist, he says, "So sad it happens. Maybe I'll continue it in light novel form." It's like, oh, that's interesting.
and I imagine the
Yeah.
same company would probably be able to publish that pretty easily. Because
Yeah,
I think light novels.
Yeah.
I don't actually know, but I think they're probably like a dime a dozen over there.
yeah.
I feel like there's all the time.
Yeah.
We're making them.
And also, if they want, they could continue in like doujinshi work. Like this is how it would have ended with my little doujinshi on my website.
That might be a little interesting though with the copyright stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know how that would work because I don't understand Japanese copyright laws. They're very interesting because you
like-
can do fan magazines and that's okay or something, and I don't understand it quite. That's what
It's
Nintendo
funny
Chichi
because
is.
for years there's this thing called Dragon Ball AE, and one of the guys who like contributed, it was like just a random project from a bunch of different people. One guy who contributed to it, he ended up working on Dragon. He was picked specifically by I think Toriyama to work on Dragon Ball Super.
Really,
Yeah.
that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and like because his artwork, like when he was drawing it, it's like, wow, this looks just like Toriyama's. And then Toriyama's like, hey, you want to work on an official manga? It's like, wow,
That's really
an
cool.
actual continuation other than some fan made bullcrap.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we
Yeah.
get back, we're going to jump right into Gurren Lagann episodes 1 through 15. See you in a
Ye-
half a second.
Who the hell do you think I am?
And we're back from our break. Welcome. We're going to go ahead and jump right into Gurren Lagann. Since Thane's the one that picked this one, we're going to let him do a synopsis, and then we will talk about what we liked about it, as well as, I guess, just our thoughts in general about the series. So
massive big boy spoiler
yeah.
alerts.
Massive, massive, massive
If
spoilers.
you haven't watched it all yet,
Then pause
Go-
this episode and go watch episode 1 through 15.
Yeah.
And then come back.
Good call. I forgot about that. Yeah. We're 100% spoiling everything from episodes 1 through 15. Anything beyond episode 15 will not be spoiled.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in another couple
Hopefully.
weeks.
Yeah. Cole and I won't
and
be
you-
able to spoil it.
Yeah. Thing's pretty good. I think it'll be fine.
And you honestly, you probably should watch these since this is probably the biggest spoilers in the series, in my opinion. So.
Oh, episode 1 through 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of them, well, obviously I'm not going to talk about them, but let's say these episodes do quite impact the show. Let me tell you something about Gurren Lagann. If you don't know the themes by the time, the little rap song that plays in one episode, literally the lyrics are, do the impossible, see the invisible, row, row, fight the power, touch the untouchable, break the unbreakable, row, row, fight the power. It's about doing whatever the hell you want.
Standing up to the man.
Yeah, standing up to the man and kicking logic to the curb.
But he's a good rapper.
Yeah, so anyways,
Here's
let's
the
actually
synopsis.
talk about the plot. So it starts with an opening scene where there's this big spaceship battle, and it's like, what is this? And it's like, full speed ahead, we're to crush them. Who the hell do you think I am? You'll hear that a lot, said by several characters. And it's like, this is like, the nerd's like, this is a man who has yet to realize his destiny. And then it shows like this little kid digging holes.
With a drill.
He's in a tunnel, and he's like, I've been digging my whole life in
That
this
drill
tunnel.
is so weird.
Yeah.
It just like takes him with
Yeah.
him as he
You know,
digs.
as
Yeah.
I was watching that, because really quick, in the first scene, like Thane's saying with the spaceship, and then it goes back to like
Yeah.
the primal days.
It kind of primers you up. It's like, ooh, where's this gonna go?
Yeah, but you know what instantly came to my brain was there's a Minecraft mod where you start out as basically a caveman and then you
Yeah.
can work up to space.
Oh yeah. That one was a
Mine-
bit. That one's pretty popular for a while. I can't
Yeah.
remember. Sevtech Ages, I think it was called. Yeah. Anyways, he's like digging, and then his friend Kamina comes up. It's like, you don't want to be cooped up in here all life. We gotta go up to the surface to see the stars. It's like, there's nothing. And Simon's like, there's nothing up there. And well, yeah, have I said
We're
the
in a
names yet? The
dome.
little boy's name's Simon, by the way. It's kind of like Simon, but no, it's pronounced Simone. Don't get any ideas. Anyways, his friend's name Kamina, and they try to escape by having these pig moles. You know, kind
That
of like
made no sense to me, by the way.
yeah, he's trying to ride up the pig
And
moles.
they turn into like a tornado
Yeah.
and go up to the ceiling.
Yeah, that was
They were like
Well-
little drills.
well. That's kind of. As I've said before, kick logic to the curb, because a lot of this show doesn't make sense, but show doesn't care. It's gonna go with it. It's kind of also another theme, like, we don't care. We're just doing it because we think it's cool. It's right. A lot of the stuff is cool, but anyways, they get caught by the chief, who has like this big sword or a katana, and I don't know.
It's a katana.
And Kamina is locked up in a little cell, and Simon is digging, and he finds a giant face, and he's like, what is this? Oh, this little necklace I found earlier that's shaped like a drill.
Conveniently.
If you don't know, drills are a reoccurring theme in this.
I think it's the spiral shape.
Yeah,
isn't
the
it?
Yeah,
spiral.
specifically the spiral.
Spiral in your heart or something. He puts it in. He doesn't put it in. He just finds it, and then now bear with me because the details are gonna get a bit hazy. I haven't, like, when I watch something, I just remember the best I can. But anyways, a monster comes down, and it's like, what, a monster from the surface? What? And there's sunlight's like, and Kamina breaks out of jail because he's badass like that.
Simone drilled
Yes,
in.
Simon
Yeah.
helped him, right?
No,
Yeah.
he broke the chain. Oh no,
No, Simone drilled in.
yeah,
drilled him
he's like,
out.
we gotta get out, and he's like, tied up like this. He's like, oh yeah, it's easy, and it's like, oh, what a badass.
Yeah.
And then as the monster falls down, he's like, look, there is a surface up there.
And he gives everyone the middle finger.
Yeah,
Wait, he does?
No.
no, he's
I was
like,
I
we're
remember
gonna.
that.
He's like, I told you so. And then the chief lord's just like, oh.
It's like, what?
Well,
And then he takes his katana. As you know, Kamina will steal a lot of stuff, which will inspire other people to steal stuff, as you'll see later.
Yeah, when you said the chief of the katana, I was just like, wait, no, that's Kamina's katana.
it was the Chiefs in the beginning.
Yeah, it was the chief, and he
Remember that
straight
at
up
all.
stole it.
Yeah.
And then a chick from the surface comes down, and her name is Yoko, and she wears like this little flame bikini, one of those flame bikinis that like black with the red flames, and she's like the fan service of
She's
the show,
hot.
and she's got a giant sniper rifle that can like, if one correct
actually do damage.
yeah, actually does damage, and they're like, how do we fight this thing? And then Simon's like, I found this face. Let's go to it. and then they find it, and it's like, hey, this looks like I could put my drill in there. And he puts his drill in there, and it goes, and then the face drills off, and it's like this little tiny mech. And then I don't remember if the monster's like, what are you gonna do with that thing? And then he like has a drill at the bottom. He goes, and just drills him and kills the monster. And they fly up to the surface, and there's this cool shot.
That is a cool shot.
Yeah, where they're like panning around to the surface. It's like a moment where they're like, "Wow, I've never seen anything like this." Kind of like Breath of the Wild when you walk out of that cave. Yeah, Breath of the Wild when you walk out of the cave, and you just see how big the world is. It's like one of those shots. And then that was just the first episode.
just skip a lot now.
All right, and
very
then
vague.
all right, and then after that, they like go to the surface, and there's a bunch of enemies.
They're mechs, by the way, not
They're
monsters.
mechs. Yeah. Well, Beastmen.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Beastmen. they're
The
kind
thing
of
that
monsters.
controls the
robots.
gunmen, as they call them, they're called Beastmen, and the humans have been fighting them off, and that's actually what drove them underground. The Beastmen have kept them underground. Any on the surface that need to be killed. So, they start fighting a bunch, and Kamina takes another one. He calls the little one Gurren, and then he takes another one, calls it Lagann. And then
I think it's the other way around. I think the small one's Lagann.
Yeah.
And then the
no,
big one's
it's
Gurren.
I think the small one's Gurren,
The
and
small one's Lagann.
Yeah,
I-
flip them.
I don't want to look this up right now.
Oh, good.
Okay, yeah, you look that up. Anyways, yeah. So when they combine, they become Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, it's
The
definitely
title.
because Kamina says Team Gurren, which
Yeah.
is the big guy.
Yeah.
Lagann's the head.
And then so
Wait, hold on, real quick. Let's talk about them combining for the first time.
yeah.
I
So
thought
it's
it
like,
was like
we gotta do manly combining, and then so Kamina shapes the drill, and then he just slams it down on the top, and he's like goes. It's like, there we go,
Yeah.
we combined.
Small one's Lagann.
Yeah, when I
Okay.
first saw that, I was like, I thought Kamina was just an idiot.
Oh, I thought he was gonna die.
Because
Yeah.
the Lagann turns in, like Thane said, it's the head, and it turns into a drill. Kamina picks it up and literally shoves it inside his mech, and the drill drills, like, it slams through, and Kamina's like, turns
Yeah,
sideways
he
like
just-
this, the drill's
He
right
just
next to
dodges
his
it.
head.
He just does this whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's it. That's all.
And then it's like, this isn't working. And then it's like, Simone, you got like, and he says, Simone, you got to believe in the me that believes in you. You got to be the Simone that believes in you. He says stupid shit like that the whole show.
And then it works.
And then he like, you're right, bro. And then by the power of anime BS, they combine. They like the
actually become like one.
the
robot.
Gurren is like kind of looks like weirdly
they're-
deformed, but then when like they combine, they like it becomes like a super
It's
butt
like it's a
mech.
Megazord from
Yeah.
Power
actual
Rangers.
Actual, like,
human
Gundam-looking
thing.
mech.
Yeah, Gundam looking thing.
Yeah.
for sure.
And then and then like
They fight a bunch of beasts.
yeah, and then they meet Viral, who's like a rival, and then they steal a helmet from him, and it's like he's like his whole character's like, I want my helmet back. I want to kill you guys.
And then they meet Forehead Boy,
Yeah.
which I think is one of the funniest
And then they meet
names
this
ever.
cult where it's like they meet this forehead kid. His name is
okay, let's pause. We don't have to go over
Yeah.
every single detail because we're assuming
well,
the people.
no, he's
listening to
he's an
this-
important character.
I know.
Yeah.
But we're assuming
So
that the people listening have seen the show.
I know.
Too.
I'm
So
sorry.
Just do like
Yeah.
very very quick.
Sorry, I like to do a
the
lot. So
biggest points.
so they meet I think what's his name? They meet Keaton, he's important, and they meet his sisters, and that episode looked terrible.
Yeah, it looked horrible.
Yeah, but then they meet the kid who was part of the cultists. I blanking on his name, but anyways, to meet him, and then
It's
Rossio,
Rossio.
Rossio, and then they join the team, and then there's this episode that was heavily censored, but you can watch that. I tried to find the uncensored version. Believe me, it was very hard to find. I couldn't find it.
What was censored about
They
it?
just cut. They cut.
So
scenes
there's a
out.
lot of episode 7. Or 6.
The bathhouse one.
Yeah, the bathhouse one. They cut a lot of scenes. That's why there was a lot of
Weird
recap.
pacing.
Yeah, it was weird pacing. There's a
Okay,
bunch
that
of
makes
recap
sense.
scenes because they apparently cut a lot of scenes. I was like, wow, that's a lot of scenes they cut. And so then they get to this
Big fight.
yeah, there's a big fight, and then like Keaton, he leaves for a while, but he comes back. It's like, hey, we've been stealing a bunch of gun mechs, and he's like, yeah, and then Comedy is like, yeah, we're Team Gurren. And then there's like, hey, look, there's a gunship, let's steal it. And so the plan is going off without a hitch, and there's a giant volcano to like set the scene, and it's like, Simon, do it. And as you know, Simon has a lot of self-doubt through the show. It's like, I can't do it. And then Comedy's like, let me see you grit those teeth, and punches him in the face. And he's like, do it. It's like, all right. And then he takes it over. And he's like, and then Kamina jumps back in the mech. He's like, that's it. You got it. Ah! And then both.
He's
and then,
acting it out too.
yeah. And then remember Viral? He stabs him. And then it's like, oh, shit. And then Simon's like, no, bro. And he's going all crazy. And then Comedy's like,
Very
I'm
accurate.
not dead yet, even though he's bleeding out. He's like, quick, we got to combine and defeat and win the day. And so they combine and win the day. And then Kamina dies.
Yeah, that was really, really sad.
Yeah, I didn't think they'd do it,
I really didn't
Like-
either.
but they did it, and I was like,
For all-
Kami is my favorite character.
For all these 8 episodes, it's like, oh, man, he's made such a big impact. I can't wait to see it till the end of the show. Oh.
But I think it does a good setup
Yeah.
for Simone's character development,
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay,
It's
well,
perfect
now
for that.
Simone literally has no one that he can rely on as far as like a leader, because now everyone's looking
Yeah.
to him because he's the pilot of Lagann.
Yeah.
So he becomes Team Daiguren's
Yeah.
leader at that point.
Wait, hold on.
So-
You're going too fast.
We'll just
I
jump
think
the
we
whole
should
gun.
go fast,
Yeah,
thing.
we'll just jump the
Okay,
whole gun.
so here's the thing.
Next, like,
No, here's the thing. He gets depressed, and then he goes in this canyon, and
And
he
he
finds
meets-
a girl in this box named Nia. She's an important character, too. And then come to find out that when they find out that the Spiral King is the guy behind all the beastmen and the humans, and then
they fight a bunch of the
yeah,
leaders.
they
of the
fight the 4
Beastmen.
generals. They already killed one of the 4 generals back there when they took over the gunship, who was responsible for communist
Which
death. So
I
fuck
thought
him.
they took
I
that-
mean, screw him.
They steal things in this show,
Yeah.
like almost like taking candy from a baby
Yeah.
at times. Like Kamina getting Lagann for the first time. Gurren. I was like, what the- he literally walks up to this mech by himself, and he's like punching it. Hey, get out! And he throws the beastman out,
Yeah.
and he takes it. I'm like, really?
And he like holds the gun upside down.
Yeah, and he's like smacking it.
It's like, I know how to use a gun.
Yeah, it's just like really, stupidly easy
Yeah.
how they steal things. They steal that entire ship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
gun
fortress
shit.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
So I guess like just to wrap it up real
Yeah.
quick, the final episodes they fight all of
Yeah.
they fight a bunch of battles, and in the end they're able to take out the Spiral King.
Yeah. With communist spiral, he just jabs it right in and goes,
You mean
it's like,
Simone's?
damn, you got me
Simone's
good, son. But
little
just
key thing.
just remember, when there's too many naked apes on the surface, he will come, and then they fall down, and then it's like that's the setup.
Yeah,
it's like the
it's-
ominous setup for the.
It's got good setup because it makes you want to
Yeah.
keep going. So before we really jump into like actual discussion, there's one thing I wanted to point out. So I guess I want to ask the question: where did you rewatch it, and did you watch it sub or dub?
I watched it on Netflix,
You
and I
watch-
watched it subbed.
you watch
Because
it
when I watched
subtitled?
it for the first time fully, it was on Crunchyroll, and I watched it subbed.
You watch it sub then too.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you watching it?
I watched it Netflix dub.
You watch Netflix dub. I
Mm.
watched it on Netflix subbed as well. So you're the only one that watched the dub experience.
I watched the dub.
Oh, you
too,
did.
yeah.
You watched it this time?
Yeah,
Or-
this time.
Oh, okay.
This last time I watched it subs, like I'll watch it dub.
Gotcha. So I'm the only one that watches sub this time.
Yeah.
So That's funny because this is very very specific to the
Sorry,
sub that I noticed.
Sorry, when I recap stuff, I like to put details so that people understand. But I guess if people have watched
Yeah,
it,
We
yeah.
assume that they watched
We assume that they've already
Yeah,
watched it. You just
okay.
got to jump through it really quick. So the thing that I wanted to point out in the sub, Vero, that guy with the Beast Man that's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
reoccurring, his voice actor is the voice actor of Ocarina of Time Link.
yeah, I know. I
Whoa.
learned that from like a Gaijin Goomba video a long time ago. It's like, wait, they're the same.
I was watching and I hear him go yeah or something like that, and I'm just like, there's no freaking way, dude. There's no freaking way. And I look it up on the behind the voice actor. I'm like, sure enough, dude. Only Ocarina of Time and Majora Mask Link. I'm just like, holy freak,
Well,
it's freaking him.
You know what's interesting too about the dub voice actor for Simone? He is Spider-Man. He's Peter Parker.
Wait, wait.
He's Yuri Lowenthal.
Yeah.
Yuri Lowenthal?
Also, Yuri Lowenthal.
Yeah,
How
he is in so much crap. I looked at his IMDb. Dude, he voices so
Yeah,
many
he's a
things.
very
He does a lot.
prominent
He's
voice
Sasuke,
actor.
isn't he?
He's Sasuke, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Sasuke.
do you guys like the dub? Is it pretty good so far? or-
Yeah,
I like
and
it.
also
I think it's
also
funny.
Michelle Ruff is voice Yoko, who's also voices your girl Makoto.
Michelle Ruff?
Yeah,
She's not Makoto.
yes she is.
Michelle Ruff is not. And like, do you mean Japanese dub?
No, like English.
The Carmen Cherami Lay. Cherami Lay's
Oh,
Makoto.
never mind. Michelle Ruff's someone else.
I was gonna say.
Who does she voice in Persona? I know it's Yukari. Never mind.
Oh, you cart for Persona 3.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I got the voice actors mixed up. Yeah,
But yeah, like I just watched it dubbed because that's all they had on Crunchyroll. They didn't,
Sub.
or excuse me, sub because that's all they had on Crunchyroll.
yeah.
And it hasn't been bad. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But when I realized that was freaking Link, I was just like, holy freak, dude, that's
Yeah.
insane. And like he doesn't sound like him obviously when he's talking because Link doesn't talk.
Yeah.
But whenever he does like a scream, it's just like that's effing Link.
So he's the voice of the bad guy.
Adult Link. Yeah, Virel. The Beast Man that always
rival
comes back. He got his
character.
helmet taken.
that looks
or
like a
whatever.
human.
He looks
Yeah.
kind of like human, but he got the teeth.
Because
Yeah.
he's a monkey.
Oh, he is.
I guess he's supposed to be a monkey because
Does he got a
by his
tail?
hands. I think he's supposed to be like some kind of
Oh.
baboon, like the one the tailless ones.
Oh, that makes a lot
Like
of
a
sense
chimp?
actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see it.
or like he's supposed to be one of those in Japan,
Like
like the red-faced,
like an actual
white-haired
ape or something?
baboons. Yeah,
Hmm.
the hot spring ones, the ones that are in the hot springs.
So, I guess as we go through this, I'm gonna just roughly structure it as we go through the my notes that I have on that I wrote anyway are structured as the series progressed. If that makes any sense. So I guess I'm just gonna go over the things that I thought of, and if you want to do the same, I guess because I think you took notes too.
Yeah.
So
I didn't take notes.
the first thing that I have is just this. Mind you, this is before I knew Kamina was gonna die. I was writing how I really liked how there's essentially two main characters, and I think that Simone is a really good counter for Kamina's character because they're basically polar opposites.
Yeah.
And they work really, really well together. They bounce off really, really well together, and I don't know. I just think that was really well done. But what you said earlier about how that helps with Simone's character development, that's really cool because, he essentially is able to take on the good traits of Kamina and try to apply that to himself and become that. I don't know. I think that was really well done. But just the fact at the beginning, it's because there's so many different animes and shows, games, anything where the main character is this boring, can't do anything, gotta get stronger, just not fun.
Yeah.
better than Shinji, I'll tell you that much.
Better than Shinji. But the fact that Kamina's there makes up for that.
Yeah.
It makes it so it's not boring at the beginning, and it's super, super well done as a result, in my opinion.
You know, this is funny. This is made by Gainax, and this is compared to mech shows between Evangelion and this one. This one's like the complete opposite.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
totally. Like hyper almost.
like Evangelion's it tries to explain its science the best it can, even though a lot of it's really weird.
And then this one's just F it, dude. We're
yeah.
just doing it because we can, because we're doing it.
The science is magic. The main character's depressed. The main character, he has depression, but he gets over it and he becomes optimism, where the main character's just kind of...
Simone turned out to be
Yeah.
a really good character, I want to say.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he's really good at the end.
Well, and what I really like too, just before we wrap up on Kamina, is you can see his impact he had amongst everybody, but not even just Team Daiguren, but also the villains too. The monkey boy. What's his name?
Viral.
Viral, yeah.
Viral.
Like there's a scene where Viral's like, "Where's Kamina?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "He's dead."
Kamina even impacted
Yeah.
him. That's crazy.
And Viral's
Yeah.
like, "So you're telling me that I've been losing to a kid?" And I was just like, I have mixed feelings right now, but yes.
I like the part in the final battle where was like he's coming at him and then Simon pulls out like this stuff. He's like pulling out kung fu moves. It's like, whoa, where do you learn that?
And then I had one side note thing that whenever Kamina and Simon would link combine, they would combine. Every single time they were just walking around in Gurren Lagann, like Simon was up top.
Yeah.
And so he would notice things first. And I picked up on that. I was just like, oh, Simon's like their spotter.
Yeah.
It's just funny how that's just a small little thing. I was just like, oh, does Simon saw that first because he's up higher. What?
Also, they mention Kamina every time in the episode. It's like, what would Kamina do? It's like,
Yeah.
that's how much
How much of an impact he had.
Yeah. He really was the leader.
And
it tells you the testament of a great character when like even the audience was like, yeah, what do you do?
Well, it's super super interesting because like the next couple things I have written are basically like essentially death flags, if you will.
Yeah.
But I didn't pick up that they were death flags because the very opening scene, that's Kamina, right? That's Kamina on the boat where he's like in space and stuff.
If you hear the voice in the dub, it's clearly Uriel Olothanau's voice.
So it's Simone then.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I thought that was Kamina. I saw that and I'm just like, oh shoot, Kamina's gonna become a freaking space pirate. Let's go. And I didn't recognize the voice actors at that point, and so I was just like, that's so cool. So the entire time up to Kamina's death, I had zero clue he was gonna die. I didn't pick up on any of the death flags until hindsight hit, and I was just like, "Oh, duh, that was a death flag right there. This was a huge one."
The one death flag that raised for me, where I was like, "No, they're not going to, are they?" Was when Yoko kissed him.
Oh yeah,
and then she's like, "What'd you say?
I'll repay that 10 times over."
Yeah, yes.
That's what he said.
I just was just like, whatever. He's not gonna die because he's in space.
Yeah. After the kiss scene, I was just like, oh no. And then Simone saw and runs away. But what I like is it wasn't okay. Well, now Yoko's gonna hook up with Simone. Simone gets his own girl, and it's like Yoko she's just sad.
I want to touch on that because I have this written later. Is that I think Yoko became a worse character after Kamina died. I don't think she's as good as she once was. She's not as fun, and she's not as, I guess, main. She's not as upfront as she once was. She essentially takes a sidestep to Nia, which is hilarious because there's a whole episode about her taking a sidestep to Nia.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, really? Come on, you're going to sidestep her like that? I really liked your character, but then they just throw her aside.
It's more like Keaton kind of takes up the plate. He
Yeah,
even tries to be leader, and it's like it's not working out.
And don't get me wrong, I understand Yoko was grieving too.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to have seen her take the mantle of the leadership of the squad. I think that would have been great.
So after he first died, I was like, okay, well, Yoko, it makes sense. Yoko is going to be the pilot of Gurren now. It's going to be Yoko and Simone.
She did it once too, and I was like, let's go! But then they just have Rossio basically be there just to be a voiceless character so that Simone can pilot Gurren Lagann by himself.
Yeah,
it's just, I don't know.
At those transitional periods where I got, or at least what I gathered from, I was just like, I don't know if the writer knew at this point in time who he wanted his mains to be besides Simone. Like, in my head, I was like, okay, well, it's clearly going to be Yoko because Rossio, we just met, Forehead Boy, came out of a freaking cult. Like, are we really going to make him a main? The only reason he came was because he didn't want these kids to die.
I think part of the reason why he didn't really become a main is because his character design is not that drastic.
Yeah.
All the other main characters, think about it. You got Kamina, you got Nia, you got Yoko and Simone. Their character designs are freaking insane.
Yeah.
Like, they're stupid looking half the time.
Besides, where did Kamina get that sick tat?
Yeah. Do they have tattoo artists in the game?
Maybe.
And then one more thing that was
It's almost
huge...
Yakuza-like.
Oh, it totally is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what it's inspired by.
Yeah, I think, it's probably...
The other death flag that I didn't realize, it's funny because I'm just going to read it word for word the way I wrote it. I didn't realize this was a death flag until much farther after the fact. But I said, I like how Kamina's dad was addressed early on and wrapped up quick instead of the typical he's looking for his dad the whole series. And then I wrote in parentheses, "Geez, now I know why they got that out of the way so fast." I'm just like, yikes. But like in hindsight, that's a huge freaking death flag. Like it's obvious.
Yeah. Well, and Kamina's character arc really starts and ends pretty quickly because the whole time you're like, well, there's not really any development here because he's just the leader and he's very confident. When on the surface, that's how it was, but underneath, he was probably just as scared as everyone else, and he used Simone as his driving force to keep going because he's like, well, if I can keep inspiring Simone, because he's seen him, I guess just the act of digging and being very diligent, throughout the years. And I don't know, I just thought that was a fun little way to wrap up Kamina's character. I was sad he died, but I thought that whole arc was very satisfying, and the send-off they gave him was really cool too.
Oh, totally. Like, it's interesting because, like, you're not wrong. His character arc was basically wrapped up by the time they found his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, well, shoot, that sucks. And that's what else is he going to do? His whole goal is to get up to the surface so he could eventually find his dad and continue to excel or prosper, I guess. I don't know. But you're not wrong, Will. His freaking death scene was incredible. I thought it was really freaking well done.
I was very
one
sad,
of the best death scenes I've ever seen in like anime or even like just television.
In that rain, I like the detail where since the volcanoes explode and it has clouds, rain comes from the volcano.
Yeah.
And it rains for days.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, wow, that's a nice little detail.
It's impressive.
It's like an explosive action led to sadness. It's like, wow.
I'm honestly really happy I watched it subtitled, specifically for the fact that I didn't expect the death to come at all. I had zero clues into it.
Yeah, it really catches you super
it caught me off guard.
Another
heavily.
thing too, though, is, and I talked to Thane about this after I watched the episode. The episode was titled, I think it was like "Farewell, Comrades" or "Goodbye, Comrades."
On Netflix, like Netflix has weird titles, but one was like titled "Farewell, Comrades."
Yeah.
And then when it dropped the episode title at the very end, which I didn't know. It's like, oh, that's clever. And it says "Later, buddy."
Yeah,
later,
they
buddy.
They didn't drop it until the very end. I'll tell you, I can look it up really quick because I know the titles were definitely different.
Yeah,
based on what you guys just said.
Yeah, if you notice, the titles are
it's "Later, Buddy." That's the title on Crunchyroll. It's "Later, Buddy."
If you don't,
Let me look it up what it is on Netflix.
Yeah. It's like "So Long, Comrades" or something. So yeah, if you haven't noticed by now, the titles for episodes 1 through 8 are Kamina quotes.
Yeah.
Like "You two-faced son of a bitch." I like that one.
That wasn't one of mine.
Yeah.
I didn't get. It just says, "What do you think you are, having two faces?"
Yeah. And on Netflix, I think it said "You two-faced son of a bitch."
That's crazy. Now that you brought that up, that those are all Kamina quotes. Nia shows up the next episode, and the rest of those quotes are hers. The titles of her are her quotes.
Yeah, Thane's right. Look
Holy
at this.
crap.
Bust through the heavens with your drill. I said I'm going to pilot that thing. You two-faced son of a bitch. Does having so many faces make you great? I don't understand it at all. Sit in the hot tub till you're sick.
Till you're sick.
You'll be the one to do that. Oh, it's "Farewell, Comrades."
Yeah.
Dang, man.
That's funny. Most of those were pretty dang spot on, but some of them were definitely changed. Yeah, that's crazy though. Nia takes over and make the titles.
And
are
also
her
all
quotes.
the like the opening and the to be continued.
I was
it's all
gonna point
girly
that out
and
too.
pink.
Oh, I was gonna just point out in general. Like after Kamina dies, they take him out of the intro cutscene.
Yeah, they do.
Opening.
They update.
And they replace it with Nia.
And then
everywhere Kamina would have been, it's Nia now.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the ending, if you sit through it, like.
The very end shows Kamina.
Yeah, the very end shows Kamina, and it doesn't really change except adds more characters. And then like Kamina's kind of like in this pose, it's like, oh wow, that means something even more now since he's gone.
It's really impressive. Just the little attention to details in this show is fun.
So I had a couple things too that I just wanted to bring up. Mine were very brief. I mean, we've kind of talked about all the bits that I had. I thought the comedy was hilarious. That one episode where they ride those dog goat things backwards, so they're holding the tail and the face is behind them.
And then also Buta rips his tail off.
Yeah,
Somehow grows it back like a lizard.
That was in the dumb episode, episode 4.
It took a couple episodes to grow back too. If you notice, every time they'd show Buta, he would like slowly grow back. It was weird.
Wow. I didn't notice that.
One
it
of
took
the
a couple episodes.
one of the
yeah. I kept
characters that
watching.
I'm very intrigued by, and hopefully they actually do something with, is the old man
Yeah,
who just
shows up and
he-
helps them.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does like very important things.
Very key in saving things.
Yeah, very exactly, very key saving things. But it's like doesn't say anything. He
Zero,
literally
yeah.
shows up for a second, does the superhero thing, and he's gone. Some of the monster designs, there was one, the scorpion ones, I believe they were in the water.
Yeah,
The-
Adine, her name.
Yeah, but they looked like the scorpion monsters from Atlantis, which are also robot mechs.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, I think Atlantis came out first. Well, I guess I don't know. It wasn't a manga, or there was a
No.
manga after, right?
Oh yeah, this came out way after
This
Atlantis.
was anime original though, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
came out in like 2007. So yeah.
And then the last thing that I thought was interesting, and this is definitely just an anime thing because you have to emote characters, is the mechs or the robots, the guns or the gunships.
Gunman.
The gunmen.
They talk.
They would emote, yeah, and they would talk, and
They would talk as the character.
Yeah, and Adina, her robot would talk from her crotch because that's where
Yeah.
the mouth
where the
was.
mouth
Yeah.
was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
What the hell am I watching?
It's really strange.
I like how Guam is like basketball.
it's supposed they sexualize just to sexualize essentially.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they're making fun of the trope too, especially with the episode with the beach episode essentially.
Uh-huh.
So effing funny how Yoko gets more dressed up to
Yeah.
go to the beach.
Yeah.
And she's just like, what are you guys doing wearing those skimpy outfits? And just like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it was very satirical.
Very
I
on the
liked
nose.
it.
Very
Yeah.
well. I thought that was good. That was. You're right. The comedy definitely.
Yeah,
hit.
and like I said, like of course the show, it'll breaks your heart if you like specific characters. Which how could you not after you watch it? But
how could you not like
yeah,
Kamina?
the comedy's just on point sometimes. Where it's like, holy crap,
Oh, yeah.
this is hilarious. The writing. Thane, thank you for
Oh,
getting
yeah,
us to
thank
watch
you.
this.
Yeah.
This
I
is
don't
a
know.
really fun
thing.
one.
Here's the thing. I'm glad this podcast happened because like I think like 2 months ago before it's like, hey, have you guys seen Gurren Lagann? The chat's like, no, we've none. It's like, what the hell?
It's very good.
I'm
like,
surprised I never have. This like it's surprising like how good it is, and I just never had seen it.
This I think this studio, like this guy's passion for this show director, he launched his own studio after this because like, if you don't know, it's Trigger. He launched Studio Trigger after
that makes so much sense.
and he made a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff after that, like that kind of carries the Gainax spirit. Because if you don't know, Gainax is like a shell of its company.
They did.
It lost the raw rights to the stuff that they were known for.
Trigger went on to do stuff like Darling in the Franxx, that Promare movie.
Yeah, Kill a Kill.
Kill a Kill. They did one of the Star Wars shorts in Star Wars Visions.
Little Witch Academia.
Yeah. That's actually, honestly, spoiler, that's one of the ones I was thinking about picking was Little Witch Academia.
Oh yeah,
at
I
some
like
point.
that one.
I'd like to do that
I
one.
have seen that one. That
I
one's
haven't.
good.
I've seen like 3 episodes and I haven't seen it since. But
Yeah, I think that's good enough. I tried to get my sister to watch, like, Elise, you really like this show. I guarantee. It's like, I don't watch anime. It's like, come on. No, you don't have to watch anime to like, I don't watch anime. It's like, oh, come on. Like, I think Little Witch Academia, even for the casual, I think if you like Harry Potter, I think you'll like Little Witch Academia. Just watch it.
yeah. Well, any final thoughts on Gurren Lagann episodes 1 through 15?
It's badass.
Really freaking good.
Yeah, it's
I'm
real
surprised
good.
how good it is.
It's amazing.
So then I guess next time, Skylar's going to be picking an anime. We're not going to do Gurren Lagann. We're not going to finish it until, I think, 3 more episodes. Thank goodness episode 16, from what we understand, is a recap episode, which
Yeah.
helps a lot.
It'll be at least a month.
Yeah, at least a month before we get to the finishing of Gurren Lagann. But next time, in 2 weeks from now, Skylar will be doing...
Yeah, I know nothing about this one. I remember I read the little description of it, and I'm like, okay, well, let's try that one. It's called Be the Beginning. It's on Netflix. It's got 2 seasons. The first season is 12 episodes, and then the second season is 6 episodes. So there's 18 in total. So we'll have to watch 3 more than what we just previously watched for
That
Gurren
ain't a
Lagann.
challenge.
No. But we're gonna
Sorry.
do all that one in one episode. So we're splitting up the Gurren Lagann one because it's like over 27 episodes.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
It's a really weird production they had, but
Yeah. But anyway, here is the little synopsis of it. It's Genius investigator Keith Flick rejoins the Royal Police Force just as a serial killer, B, emerges. Mysterious youth Koku may be an ally or a target.
I didn't know they made a season 2. I heard about season 1, but I didn't know there's a season 2 that came out. So
Be the beginning?
yeah.
Well, it says season 2 Succession.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know what it even means.
Just looking it up, it only shows up that you can watch it on Netflix through subscription. Other places, it looks like you might have to like pay to watch it.
Yeah.
So this one might be a Netflix exclusive kind of thing.
Yeah, it is. It was like it's like one of those animes that said a Netflix original.
I
But
see.
it came out in 2021, so last year.
I guess I could give you my account. Just don't tell my parents.
I think it's on
I'll
the
just watch it
TV.
in the TV in the living
Okay,
room.
yeah, okay.
That's my plan.
But yeah, I think it'll be fun. Hopefully it doesn't suck. If it does, sorry.
Also, content warning. I think this one's like a bit heavy, extreme. I think it's got a TVMA rating, right?
Yeah.
So you might want to, if there's anything that bothers you about the show, you might want to look it up before.
That's true. I guess I didn't think about. I mean, does it matter if we watch mature?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I guess good point. I think it's good.
But
on thing for
yeah, we
bringing
should
that
give
up, though.
warnings. Like, yeah, this one's gonna be heavy.
So I think my whole reason for picking it, though, is
it
I just...
kind of reminds me of Psychopaths. So if you guys like shows like Psychopaths,
I like Psychopaths.
Yeah, I like Psychopaths, too.
I still haven't finished it. I've only seen a few episodes. I should definitely finish that one.
It's a fun one, dude.
Psychopath's fun.
Season 2, I don't think is as good as the first season, but...
and there's a season 3 too, and a
Yeah.
movie.
Did we watch?
We didn't watch that stuff.
I probably won't.
I don't know if I ever will.
Maybe we'll watch it for one of the episodes.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
years
true.
Years
That's
away
true.
or something.
But anyway, I just wanted to pick this one because I wanted to pick something that, like, I've never seen or heard
Yeah.
of. Like, there's always the shonen ones you could go watch, I guess. But most of those at that point are, like, very... There's lots of seasons with, like, each season's being almost 20 episodes long. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was interesting, and I do like murder mysteries, and that's kind of what it sounded like to me. So,
Cool. Oh
Yeah. So I guess next week I'll report back to you on Blade Runner
2
Black
weeks.
Lotus.
Okay.
2
Yeah,
weeks,
that'd be
2
good. That'd be
weeks,
good.
yeah.
2 weeks. But yeah, so next time we're going to be doing the typical stuff at the beginning. We're talking about the stuff we've been watching, as well as we'll probably start getting to some of the mangas that we're reading weekly, maybe like one per episode
Yeah.
or something like that. We can talk about that because we're all reading a bunch of manga weekly.
yeah.
And then, like Skylar said, we're going to be watching
Be the beginning.
Be the Beginning. I was going to say something else from another thing, but
Be the
Be
movie.
the Beginning on Netflix specifically is where it is. And we're going to watch the whole series, 1 through episode 18.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about that in 2 weeks. But this has been Life Is Daijoubu. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate that. If you have liked watching it, feel free to subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, we appreciate you guys there. Like it and rate it or whatever you do on Spotify. If you want to watch our beautiful faces, check it out on the YouTube, on the channel. We also have the normal Radcat stuff that we put out pretty much every single week, as well as the Radcats Talking Rad podcast. If you want to hear us guys just BS about random stuff, there's that too. Links will be in the description.
Yeah. Also, real quick, feel free to leave a comment on your thoughts of Gurren Lagann down below, or animes that you think we should watch on the show. Recommend them to us.
Yeah, I should have done a better job of actually bringing that up. That I would love to.
And-
We want to hear your guys' thoughts on the shows that we're
And next
watching
time I'll
too.
do better with my summaries.
Yeah, I think we should make them brief because I think it's, to me anyway, I would much rather talk about why we like the show
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
about the show.
I'm thinking like 3 minutes or less, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for sure, leave your comments below what your thoughts were on the first 15 episodes of Gurren Lagann. Next time we're watching Be the Beginning. Thanks again for watching, and have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys in about 2 weeks. Bye.